In the morning, we flew from Rome to Croatia. After we settled into our Airbnb, we took the night to walk around Split. The port was beautiful at sunset, and exploring this area was a great way to kick off our time in Croatia. The next morning, we returned to the port to board our floating home for the next week, the Katarina. The first place that the boat took us was Makarska. There we visited this interesting statue that our guide on the boat told us about. I won't go into details here, but if you Google Monument to the Tourist in Makarska, you can read about what tourists visiting the island should do to this statue to ensure good luck, as well as a fruitful and rowdy vacation. We walked around the island a bit more and enjoyed another amazing Croatian sunset. The next day before coming into port, the boat stopped near an island for our daily swim stop, which was one of our favorite parts about this cruise. The water was very salty, but perfectly clear and warm to swim around in. Our next stop along the Dalmatian Coast was Miljet, where we visited the national park that was known for its beautiful lakes. Between the two lakes, there was a little lazy river, so we jumped in and floated through. After cooling off in the lakes, we took a boat across and walked around St. Mary Island, which is known for the agave plants that grow there. The next day, we made another stop to swim and jump off the boat. As a huge fan of Game of Thrones, my favorite port stop was Dubrovnik, where they filmed King's Landing. We first visited Pile Bay, otherwise known as the famous Blackwater Bay from the show. Luckily for us, we had a tour guide from the boat that brought us all around the city and told us the best stories from Dubrovnik's older days. We passed through the entrance to the city and came across a large fountain. The nuns used to live on one side and the priests used to live on the other. They were of course banned from having relationships, but underneath this fountain there was an underground tunnel where they would secretly meet in the middle of the night. One night, the archbishop caught 2 nuns and 1 priest, so they were beheaded as punishment as well as to warn the others. That's why when you walk through Pile Gate on the way into the city, you can see 3 faces. One for each of the 2 women, one for the man, and the archbishop standing above. Our guide took us through the rest of the area and recommended that we check out the city walls. We had some free time, so we decided to go and buy tickets. The walk took about an hour and wrapped around the entire old town of Dubrovnik. It was 100% worth it, and the view from the top was amazing. The following day we stopped in Korčula, another Dalmatian island. We enjoyed more stories and facts from our guide about the city and even saw the house Marco Polo was born in. Another one of my favorite stops from this cruise was Hvar. We took a daytime tour of the area, but the real draw to this island, at least for me, is the nightlife. Hvar is known for being the party spot, so after dinner, I went out with 2 Danish girls my age from our boat. We visited Carpe Diem Beach, which I guess is supposed to be one of the top 50 nightclubs in the world.
Welcome to Carpe Diem Beach.
Next day, even though we were tired from the nightclub, the girls and I still decided to go ziplining. After our boat docked back in Split, we took a bus about 45 minutes inland and got to see some stunning views from the zipline. Sadly, the next day, our week of fun on the cruise was over, but we still had a short Croatian road trip planned. We rented a car and drove north, one day to the stunning Krka National Park, and the next day to Plitvice.
Hi, Jack here. To finish off our time in Croatia, we stayed in Zadar for a few nights. Side note, our old drone was having some complications and stopped working, so we got another one, and I got to play around with it for the first time during this beautiful sunset. Unfortunately, the seagulls started attacking it mid-flight, so I couldn't capture much. The sunset was still gorgeous. While walking around on one of the nights there, we came across this street musician we enjoyed his playing so much that we stopped to have a drink by the cafe where he was set up.
On our last night in Zadar, we paid a visit to the Monument to the Sun. It's a large circle around 70 feet in diameter with solar panels underneath a layer of glass. During the day, it soaks up the sun's energy, and when it's dark out, the energy captured during the day is used to create this beautiful light show. If it's quiet enough and not too crowded, you can sit on the circle and listen to the sound of the nearby sea organ. The sea organ is a large natural musical instrument that was built under the concrete. It contains dozens of organ pipes which make noise when the waves from the ocean flow in and out. We sat by it for a while, and even though there are people talking in the background of the recording, you can still get a sense of what it sounds like. We were in Croatia a total of 10 days, but I felt like it flew by very quickly. While we were sad to leave, it was exciting to think about what we had planned for the next couple weeks at our next stop in England. Thank you all for watching and following along.